If you feel like the Pilates industry is evolving faster than you can keep up, or you're wondering what it takes to really build a fulfilling career as a teacher or a studio owner, then this episode is for you. Because today I'm sitting down with longtime friend and client and Pilates teacher, a Pilates professional with over 20 years in the industry, and who's on a mission to elevate our profession from the inside out. Victoria Torrie-Capan is also the creator of Music City Moves Me, a conference that brings together continuing education and business leadership and personal growth. And let me tell you, her insights go deep. I'm so excited for this episode where we're talking about what's missing from the current conversation in the Pilates industry, the blockers that are holding teachers back, and why studio owners need to really start thinking differently about how they support their teachers. Well, hi there, I'm Seran Glanfield. I'm a business and marketing strategist just for boutique fitness studio owners like you. If you're ready to be inspired and make a bigger impact, you're in the right place. All you need are a few key strategies, the right mindset, and some support along the way. Join me as I share the real-life insights that will help you grow a sustainable and profitable studio. This is the Pilates Business Podcast. Welcome back to the Pilates Business Podcast. I'm Seran Glanfield. I am here to talk to you today all about something that is absolutely top of mind, something that we've been talking about a lot here on the podcast and amongst many of the studio owners and teachers that I work with. Yes, the Pilates industry has shifted, is shifting. You're not imagining it. The way that we teach, the way that we lead, the way that we build businesses in this space is evolving. And if you're like a lot of folks, you're probably wondering, how do I keep up? But also, how do I stay rooted in why I started this work in the first place? Because I know that so many of you listening here today are doing this work because you love this movement method. You fell in love with it and you want to share with other people, and you care deeply about the quality and the integrity of the work. And today's guest is here to help us dig into exactly that. I'm joined by Victoria Torrie-Capan. This is actually her second time here on the podcast. She has been in the Pilates world for over a decade. She's been in the trenches.
2 decades.
2 decades. Oh, sorry.
2
You're right.
decades.
2 decades. I was making you younger than we all are.
I know. Thank you.
2 decades. And she's a teacher. She's one of my teachers. She's a mentor to many. And she's also a business owner. And now she's on a mission to go to that next level herself. And she wants you to come with her in elevating our profession from the inside out. And that means helping teachers to build real confidence, to really develop their skills, and to really step up into a long and healthy career that is sustainable. Victoria is the founder of Music City Moves Me. And this is a conference that's coming up very, very soon that we're going to talk about today as well. And I'm excited to share with you exactly what she has planned for that, because Victoria is not just a friend and Pilates teacher, but she's also a big picture thinker, and she sees the opportunity that is out there for so many of you. And she really understands what it takes to grow and as a professional in this industry. And she's not afraid to challenge what's happening right now and evolve with it. So welcome in, Victoria. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, you've been in the Pilates world for 2 decades. We did have to sort of double check that, because I can't believe that is how long we have known each other.
I know, it's been that long. It's a very, very long time. I entered when I was 22 years old. I just graduated college, and everyone thought I was completely insane because they didn't know what Pilates even was. And all there was Mari Windsor on TV with Daisy Fuentes. Like, that was what the general public thought of Pilates.
Yeah.
I mean, even my own husband was like, how are you going to earn money? How are you going to make a career out of this?
Right. And look at here you are. And the industry
now, yes.
Yeah. Now the industry has shifted so much. We've seen a lot over that time. Tell a little bit about what has shifted for you and what you are seeing today and what you're focused on today.
I think back to when I started, the the studios that I worked at, nobody advertised. There was no scheduling software. You were keeping track of packages on index cards and receiving checks. No one took a credit card. And these businesses thrived because there weren't many of them out there. So people who came really wanted to do this. They were there because somebody else had told them to do it and they trusted that person. And so when you have somebody that walks in your business like that, you have a very high conversion rate because they're pretty much 50% sold on doing whatever it is you have to offer right from the beginning.
Before they've even walked in, they've already decided because it took so much to find you.
Exactly. Because it took so much to find. And they weren't putting it on their credit card. So it was being written on a check coming out of their bank account. Which when you think about it, like the way spending has changed, I mean, how many checks do you receive in your business now? Like most people don't want them.
0.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So, just even the way the transaction happens has changed immensely in 20 years. I mean, now no one's balancing checkbooks. They're tapping a credit card. If they don't like something, they'll dispute it with their credit card company. So there's a lot of things that didn't exist 20 years ago that just operationally to run your business has changed. So if you've been in this industry for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. You've been through these changes and that business cannot compete with what's happening now. I don't think it's a bad thing. Actually, I think it's really great, all of the visibility that's on Pilates right now. I think it's excellent. And I think it actually is a moment for those of you who have spent a long time in the industry or a lot of time and money on your education. This is the moment for you to shine because people have a lot of questions, I think.
Yes, for sure. And so, you and I have worked together for a long time. You're inside of Thrive, so you know what we talk about, which is how to evolve with the industry, how to take all of the things that's happening right now and make sure that you are optimizing what you have to make the most of this incredible opportunity that exists today. And fortunately for all of us inside of Thrive, that we work on all of these things every single week. So there's a sort of a consistent progression of business growth over time, right? And you've seen that. But one of the parts that we don't talk about on purpose is the evolution of what that means as for a Pilates professional and for the teacher and the skills that you have and the talents you have as a teacher. Because I don't talk about teaching inside of Thrive. That is not what I talk about. I talk about everything else, but not the teaching. So you talk a lot about elevating the profession from the inside out. And so tell me a little bit about what that means for you and what it was that really sort of sparked that mission.
So I think this really started back when I bought my first business when I was 29. I bought a Pilates studio in New York City from my employer, and I was thrown into the deep end. I had a college degree, but I did not have any experience I didn't have courses in business. I didn't have all that. All I had was a mentor, the woman who I bought the business from, who did an excellent job of training me. But as I had talked about, her business model was set in what I would describe 20 years, like at the beginning of my career. And so I had to move this studio in a very competitive landscape. I mean, when people get anxious, oh, a studio just opened up a block away from me. I want to be like, you know what? That's New York City. Even back in 2000, oh my God, what's that? 2011.
Yeah,
2011.
That's right.
There were 3 studios within less than a 5-block studio of my studio, and I couldn't worry about what they were doing. I think that's the most important thing. Is you can't worry about what the people next to you are doing. It doesn't matter, quite frankly. What matters is who your client is. Who is going to be walking in that door. And I didn't get that right away. I didn't understand that right away, but intuitively, I did know that because that's how I'd been retaining clients for over 10 years. Intuitively, I knew those things. And intuitively, I had created a retention process for my clients because I knew I knew how to give them what they were looking for. I knew how to find out what it was they were looking for, and I knew how to address those needs. And ultimately, I had to train myself to systemize this into a business and train my employees to do the same thing, which is hard when you don't know how to do those things. Thankfully, I had a very good friend named Seran.
We talked a lot. It's fine.
Yes, who just started her consulting business. Um, so I think what's interesting is I think the most important thing for all of us is to first identify what your strengths are. What it is what are you already good at? And you should lean into those things and don't worry about what you're not good at because you're going to continue learning. And then the second thing is then find out what kinds of people align with who you are and what your strengths are. And if you can identify that, it's going to be much easier because you can talk to your potential clients in a way that's impactful to them. And I think the most important thing about all of this is, a lot of teachers want to spend time on learning, how do I take care of a client that has a disc herniation? Or how do I teach people with osteoporosis? They get very niche in their focus about the type of client they're going to teach. But ultimately, you limit yourself if you have that perspective. That's not going to help you grow because in the end, everybody ultimately has the same goal, which is they want to move and they want to be moving at a high quality for a very long time. I have a client right now who's a 16-year-old boy that has, tendinitis and he's limited. Like he wants to be able to run and he can't. Like that's actually his needs are the same as my 75-year-old client with spinal stenosis. They have completely different problems, but their needs are the same. So I think if we look ultimately at what our clients need and address that, I think, and that's where I feel like you can't dissect your business development from your teaching growth.
Right.
You can't because they're going to go hand in hand. And you have to know this in a way that I'm creating a message, I'm creating my brand, I'm creating a process for my client to follow in their workout, but also in their experience with me as a client. So I think that we try to divorce these things and we can't actually.
Right. Very true. So when you say that you support teachers to build confidence and have a different perspective, why do you think that, what is it that you see that holds teachers back? What is that? Why is that sort of work that perhaps is not necessarily totally learned through a book, right? So why is that so critical to having a successful career as a teacher?
Well, I think the first thing is you cannot compare yourself to another teacher. I saw that in my studio for years and I experienced that as an employee other places. What you offer is not what the person next to you offers. And I think if you get in that already, you're going to start down a path of insecurity. So I think that's the first thing is to be very true to what your strengths are and recognize those. I think that's ultimately the most important thing. I think the other thing is I think it's very important to understand that you're not going to have all the answers. That's really important because I did feel that way in my early 20s. Like somebody would come in and they'd be like, fix me. And I felt like it was my job to fix this client. You're not going to fix everybody's problems. And there's always going to be somebody that knows more than you out there. And there's not anybody that knows it all. I mean, that's why it's important for you to build relationships with other professionals because they are going to support you. One of the most important relationships I've had is with physical therapists, not because I'm trying to do their job. I don't want to be a physical therapist, but they can educate me and I can now speak their language and I can help their clients. The same, like most medical professionals, I think that it's a great support because you're not going to know everything that walks in the door. But the same thing goes for other businesses that can support you in different ways. This sounds very weird to make the correlation, but my hairstylist in New York, he and I had the same businesses. We were just offering different services. And so I learned a lot from him about how to give my clientele on the Upper East Side the service that they expected. I modeled my services very much after his business. The business was the same, the service was different. So I think it's very important to interface with other people who are in the service industry. It's important for you to interface with people who have the similar clientele as you. And I think you have to understand you're not going to do exactly what those people are doing. You're just going to take the parts of it that meet your business. And so I think having this open mind and not closing yourself off in a little Pilates bubble is going to give you a lot of confidence, because our little Pilates bubble that we put ourselves into keeps us small sometimes. And that's where insecurities grow.
You're absolutely right. I was just thinking as you were saying that, actually, it's a bit of a misconception, I think, that, if we aren't feeling super confident, then the best thing we can do is just to focus on the things inside of our business or in our studio or our clients. And actually that probably breeds more insecurities than actually going out and connecting with others and getting different perspectives and being open-minded, like you say, and looking for, where can I learn, and being curious about all of that, right?
That's the third thing I was going to say. I think, I mean, I have 2 children and I'm very much in the weeds. I studied, I studied in college. Human development was very interesting to me, the physical and psychological development, the parallels. But curiosity is the gateway to confidence. Curiosity is the gateway to confidence, because if you walk in a room and you think you're the smartest person in the room, you are already now closing off opportunities, in my opinion. I think being curious is the most important thing that any of us can have. Curiosity meaning like you want to know more, you're interested, I think that people say there are no dumb questions. I'm sorry, there are a few dumb questions out there. I think what's important is if you think about why you're asking this question. What is that? You may not know the answer, but you may know I'm looking to get to this place. So I think that if you are curious in that fashion, and I see that with my own children, when they ask me a question, I don't give them an answer. I say, well, let's think about where could we go to find the answer to this question. And unfortunately, my children now think, oh, we should look on Google. They haven't gotten to let's ask ChatGPT.
Right, I know. Oh, you're so close. You're so close to that, though. Crazy.
So, but I think that leads into like all of this technology that a lot of studio owners are like, oh, this is so expensive. Like, this is now an expense I didn't have before. Let's look at it a different way. How can this now alleviate work that we used to do that now we don't have to do? So if we lean into these fears that we have, this fear of, I now have to pay this scheduling system $200 a month, shift the focus and be curious about it, like rather than just being scared of it, be like, because then you can be analytical and then you can compare all of the options. Because honestly, I think it's a great thing. My only choice was mind body. I didn't have choices. I think it's amazing. There's so many options out there. So I think it's great. I think it's amazing for all of us.
Absolutely. So many options and so many options to be curious and to learn and to see what else is out there. And I think that, as you've seen over the last 20 years, the industry has shifted in a lot of different ways. It's really become really so broad. The conversations that we were having when you were first starting out to grow your business are quite different to the conversations we're having inside of Thrive today. Some of them are similar, some of the themes are similar, but the specifics have changed because the industry has evolved. But also, as professionals, I think we have also evolved. And that kind of brings me nicely to what you're focused on next. So let's talk about Music City Moves Me. I'm so excited for this. Full disclosure, I'm a sponsor. I'm going to be there. I'm excited. I'm going to be doing a business panel on the Friday afternoon alongside so many fantastic other folks who are going to be joining as well. Tell us, first of all, before you spill the beans on who else is there and what it's all about, can you tell me a little bit about what really inspires you to take the leap, really, because it's a big leap, um, to create this, to bring this together, to bring this conference together, and then talk a little bit about what it's all about.
So from a personal point of view, I'm in a phase of life. I ran a business for 10 years. I don't want to do that again yet. I'm not saying that I've learned never to say never, but that's not where I'm at right now. And the last 5 years, I've been focusing more on continuing education for teachers. I've been Sanjay Mayo and I have been hosts, and with Lindsay McLaughlin from Absolute Pilates, we've been hosting and teaching educational weekend events here in Nashville. I've been traveling internationally and I've been going into people's studios. That's where I've been going. I haven't been to many conferences because to me, I really love the intimacy of coming into somebody's studio and learning about their clients and their teachers and helping that studio owner push their team to the next level. Because that's the first, no workshop is ever the same. Because the first thing I always ask them is like, what do you want your teachers to learn? What are they not doing that you want them to understand? That's the first thing. So nothing is ever the same. Each one is, even though the workshop title might be the same, it's never the same because the people aren't. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, and what I really see is this great need. I'm going to say the classical community right now, just because that's where I've been circulating, but I've been outside of that as well. But primarily that's where I've been circulating, that people want to come together in a bigger way. Everyone feels very isolated. They feel isolated in their businesses. I think it's a little bit of a COVID hangover still. I think it's a little bit of that. And the thing that I desire, that the desire that wasn't being met by these smaller weekends, they're very intimate. You get to know that's everybody on a very intimate level, is that it fails to grasp the complexity of what our industry is, because it's focused mostly on teaching and the client. And that's really only one part of your growth. And since I've started this, I've had people that have sent me comments like, is this a business thing or is this a teaching thing? Like they want me to pigeonhole it. And I'm not going to do that, because the reality is you have to be working on all of these things in small ways. You don't have to become a business guru. I'm not telling you that. You know what I mean? That's not the point, but you have to pay attention a little bit to it. You have to pay attention a little bit, just like your equipment. You have to maintain your equipment. You have to understand how it works. You have to understand that, like, that's a whole liability issue in itself, maintaining your equipment. Like, that's part of your business. That's part of how your clients are going to get a good workout. So all of these little pieces that we kind of push to the side sometimes are actually very important to the complexity of what we have to do. And so that's what I'm trying to capture here is I want teachers to be able to come away and say, I learned this about my reformer that I didn't know. I learned this about how to talk to my clients. I now know that I'm going to say X, Y, and Z instead of this. Simple things can make a huge lasting impact. And being around people who have the tools to help you go to the next level is going to take away that insecurity. It's going to take away that fear of the franchise studio down the road from you that's offering reformer classes, they now are taking, like, it's going to dispel all of that, because you have a group of people around you who are all solving the same problems, and they have the tools to help you do that.
Right.
You're not
right.
alone.
Yeah. So tell us who else is going to be there, and what does it look like?
So it's going to be, I've separated this because I think this is kind of important. I've separated the things into the different focuses. One is your personal practice, and that's going to be mat classes and small equipment classes. So when you're working on your own personal practice, you're not worried about being a teacher. Don't worry, you're taking care of yourself. And then we have workshops that are geared on teaching, and those will be led by myself, Sanjay Mayo, Miguel Silva, and Mariano Doligari. And so those are, you're focused on meeting a client's needs, a specific client or specific apparatus. And then we also have some really amazing sponsors. I've worked really hard on this and been very thoughtful about who I included, because to me, the important thing about the sponsor is these are businesses that are going to elevate and support you as a professional. I don't want to bring somebody, I don't want to bring a sponsor in who you don't want to use their product. There's no, I could do that, but to me, it's really about the integrity of the support of the teacher. And so we have Gratz Pilates is our preferred equipment provider. They have been so fantastic. And I'm really excited with where the company is going. I think John and Elizabeth are going to be there, so you get to meet the owners. And I just think it's like they're on a new horizon, and I think it's super exciting. Seran is going to be there with Spring 3. You've been pretty instrumental in my personal growth as a business owner, and I think your message is very tangible. Also, you are a Pilates teacher. You understand. I know you don't do it anymore, but you get what we're doing.
I do.
I think that's important. And Pilatesology is going to be there.
Elisa and Jack are going to be there.
Yeah, I've been working with Elisa and Jack since 2012, and they have been a pioneer.
Yeah.
For Pilates
Truly.
In the online space. They really have. And I think what their company stands for and the way they support teachers is amazing. And I'm so excited they're going to be there.
I just had a flashback to when we all came to your studio in New York and did filming. And that was probably 10 years ago.
It was more.
Oh, was it? Oh, no.
It was more. I think it was more.
Maybe.
It was a long time ago.
It was
I know.
a long time ago.
But
you can still find that video on Pilatesology, by the way.
It's still there. Well, that's the kind of sad thing is you can date the videos now by the clothes we're wearing.
Yes. This is very true.
It's very, very funny. You can date the videos by the outfits everyone's wearing. So I'm just really thrilled. Pilates Pro Maintenance is going to be there. They've been very generous with their services and helping us. It's a big deal. I got to say, I knew this was going to be logistically very difficult before I even got into it. And I've been on a steep learning curve. For those of you who have opened a business, like your first conference is like the first 3 years of your business is what it is. Not everything's going to go the way you want it to go, but I'm being open-minded, and I'm just so thankful of all of the people that have signed up already.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled that you are going to be there. I'm thrilled that you want to be a part of this. And, I'm going to feed you well.
That's right. It's all about the food, people. It's all about the food and the workouts.
Sure
I know. Basically, no, I'm kidding.
I want you to be nourished. You're going to be nourished.
Well nourished, hydrated. I think it's, what I think we've missed, and I think you're absolutely right. There has not been a sort of a lot for folks in the classical world to come together. A lot of opportunities really to come together, and I think to come together in an environment that is friendly and open and like curiosity inviting, like you have created and are creating with your Music City Moves Me conference. I think I cannot wait. I know it's going to be an epic weekend and lots of great conversations and lots of great energy. And I think that, when you go to, I've been to a bunch of conferences, you've been to a few, not in that, there hasn't been a whole ton, frankly, but we're seeing a lot more.
Recently.
And I think that when you go and you spend the time with other people who walk your walk alongside you, you can only be inspired, and you can only learn, and you can only grow. And so, if you haven't immersed yourself in a new community or a new environment, I highly recommend it, because what it does for your personal and professional growth is invaluable. Truly.
Yeah. And I think the relationship, because I was thinking back to this, I still receive referrals from teachers that I've met over 20 years ago. And that was how I built my teacher network in the beginning, was by going to events. And there have definitely, I think we still are in a slight COVID hangover. I think that these conferences, if anything, you are going to connect with like-minded people, and those relationships, you may not be your best friend, you know what I mean? But those professional relationships expand over decades. I still have those friendships. I have a few friends that, like, we were conference buddies. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would go to conferences with them. So get your conference buddy.
Yes, we're conference buddies. Absolutely. Absolutely we are. So tell us a little bit more about where folks can learn more and get their tickets, because it's coming up. What are the dates?
Yeah, it's coming up. So we just released our schedule this past weekend. It was logistically much more challenging than I expected, but I'm really excited. So our schedule is up, and you can register on our website. You can buy tickets. We are sold out of we had VIP tickets. We're sold out. They're all gone.
Hot tickets. They
were hot tickets.
And the dates are April?
The dates are April 10th, 11th, and 12th.
And it's in Nashville.
It's in Nashville. So the 10th is our registration and our pre-conference events, which I highly encourage people to, because when you want to, like, meet people and do the socializing, that's the day. We're going to do a welcome reception for everybody. Everyone's welcome. We're doing a welcome reception Friday evening, and then we get to work early Saturday morning.
That's right.
So it's a full weekend. I'm really excited about it. And you can follow us on our Instagram. Send us a message, ask us questions. I'm right now, I have to say, I've been answering a lot of emails with a lot of questions, and I want to thank everyone for your questions, because that's helping me grow, is your questions, and it helps me make a better event for you.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's Nashville. It's a classical Pilates conference in Nashville called Music City Moves Me, April 10th to 12th, 2026. You can get your tickets, and we're going to link to all of the places that you can get your tickets in the show notes. I would highly recommend that if you're thinking about going, you grab them now, because there is limited spots. So go and get your tickets and put it on the calendar and get out there. It's exciting to meet different people and to learn from what a great lineup, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled that everyone that has stepped up and supported me and, signed up and registered. Thank you for all of you who got on the boat from the beginning, because it's, you give me confidence, and you tell, it's my message that I should be doing this.
Absolutely.
And it's
for sure. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited. All right. And if you guys are listening to this and you go to the conference, you have to come up and introduce yourself to both Victoria and myself and let us know that this is where you heard about the conference. All right. So we will link to all of those places. Victoria, I'm so excited for you. It's going to be an amazing time, and I can't wait to be in Nashville with you in April. And I'm so thrilled that you came back on to the podcast to share this very, very exciting new thing in your life. Congrats.
Thank you. I'm excited to see you, Seran.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all so much for listening in today. If you enjoyed what you heard and would like to make sure that we stick around, please go to wherever you listen to this and follow and review the podcast. It helps to make sure that we get out there into the universe with all this good insight and info for yourself and other Pilates teachers and studio owners just like yourself. Did you love this episode and want more? Head to spring3.com and check out my free resources that will help you run a profitable and fulfilling studio business. And before you go, one last reminder, there is no one way to do what you do, only your way. So whatever it is that you want to do, create, or offer, you've got this. Thanks again for joining me today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.